Take me, Cacnea! There!
Cacnea perfectly combined traits from James's former Pokémon, Weezing and Victory Bell. It blended Weezing's loyalty with Victory Bell's fierce affection. Like all of James's Pokémon, Cacnea deeply loved him. Alongside Jessie Seviper, it fought for Team Rocket through the Hoenn, Battle Frontier, and Sinnoh sagas. Cacnea left a lasting legacy because of its many battles and heartfelt moments. Hi, I'm Professor Silver, and today I'll break down the history of James's Cacnea, detailing its meteoric rise from a wild Pokémon into one of Eterna City's greatest gym-level brawlers. Without further ado, let's dive into how Cacnea made its mark, starting with its debut. Cacnea debuted in the Ruby and Sapphire episode, A Poached Ego. As a wild Pokémon, it lived in the Petalburg Woods. It was likely lonely on its own, as it joined James's team without hesitation. James first encountered Cacnea while fleeing from a swarm of Beedrill. Cacnea saved him with Pin Missile, so in gratitude, James gave it a bag of cookies. Unfortunately, James didn't have time to open the bag. He and his team were too busy trying to stop a poacher named Rico from kidnapping wild Ekans and Koffing. After defeating Rico and releasing Weezing, James reunited with Cacnea, opened the bag, gave Cacnea a cookie, and asked it to join his team. Cacnea happily accepted with a hug. Its hug started a recurring gag wherein its spikes poked James. As the series progressed, Cacnea would often hug James before battling. There were only a handful of times in the series where Cacnea emerged from its Pokeball immediately ready to fight. James regularly tried to avoid Cacnea's needles, but he only did so on a couple of occasions. Cacnea was as much a replacement for Victory Bell as it was for Weezing. Both were grass types that caused James physical pain. Where they differed was that Cacnea's affection was more openly expressed. It adored James and always tried to make him happy. Though life with James was tough, Cacnea loved every minute. Its first mission, Intrize a Crowd, showcased both its enthusiasm and the challenges it faced. In its effort to pummel Ash's Trico, it accidentally popped Team Rocket's hot air balloon. As the saga continued, Cacnea's desire to help similarly backfired in both True Blue Swablu and Showdown at Linoon. Starting in A Tale with a Twist, Cacnea fought alongside Jessie Seviper. Like Arbok and Weezing before them, they battled Ash and his friends many dozens of times, losing most of their battles. As villains, their primary role in the series was to lose and make other characters appear stronger. Besides the gang's Pokémon, they lost to powerful opponents like Steven Stone's Aggron, Brawly's Hariyama, Magma Mightyena, Norman's Slacking, Morrison's Beldum, Agatha's Golbat, and Annabelle's Alakazam. Overall, Cacnea and Seviper served as fitting replacements for their predecessors. They were so similar, in fact, that like Arbok, Seviper excelled in aquatic battles, while Cacnea, like Weezing, struggled to swim. This was made evident in Maxed Out when Cacnea nearly drowned. Although Cacnea and Seviper generally got along, they clashed in the bicker the better after Jessie and James blamed each other for losing to a pair of Nidos in a double battle. Cacnea partnered with Ash's Corphish, while Seviper teamed up with May's Skitty. In spite of their efforts, neither side won as Jessie ended the battle by cheating and using Dustox. In Sweet Baby James, Cacnea and Seviper fought one more time. This time, as James wanted to stop Jessie from stealing all the Pokémon at his Sinnoh home. Unlike in their previous showdown, Cacnea won by joining forces with Ash's Phanpy. Besides Seviper, Cacnea frequently appeared alongside Jessie's Dustox. In fact, it helped Dustox evolve from Cascoon by letting it beat it in battle in the episode Seeing is Believing. Dustox and Cacnea's most notable team-up occurred in Caterpie's Big Dilemma, where they ate mystery candy and turned into Kaiju. Although Dustox was the only one of the two to battle Giant Butterfree, Giant Cacnea's wanting to hug James remains a hilarious moment. In spite of fighting just as often as Seviper and Dustox, Cacnea's battle record was far less impressive than its teammates. In terms of victories, Cacnea beat Brock's Fortress by cheating and sheer pressure, destroyed a Raikou mech in What's With Watson, and defeated two of Team Aqua's Crawdon in gaining Groudon. Besides those wins, Cacnea often did considerable damage to the gang's Pokémon before losing. It used Needle Arm for physical attacks, Pin Missile for range support, and Sandstorm to obscure its opponent's vision. Outside of battle, in Ruby and Sapphire, Cacnea was extremely helpful. For example, it dressed in drag so as to help James sell Pokéblock and pros and con artists, and entertain children in Strategy Tomorrow, Comedy Tonight. Cacnea's greatest contribution off the battlefield took place in the episodes The Saffron Con and A Hurdle for Squirtle, when it helped Jessie compete in the Saffron City Contest Appeal Round. Before the contest, Jessie worked hard to bond with Cacnea and improve their chances of winning. At first, Cacnea preferred James and struggled to hug Jessie. Eventually, however, Cacnea came around. And when it finally did, it got stuck in her hair. Although the experience was traumatic, it brought Cacnea and Jessie literally closer together. At the contest itself, Cacnea opened with a heartwarming embrace and ended with an explosive Pin Missile. The blend of love and power showcased the powerful bond between Coordinator and Pokémon. As the series transitioned to Diamond and Pearl, Cacnea was sadly replaced by Carnivine as James's main battler. Though Cacnea appeared in about 20 Sinnoh episodes, it gradually became redundant as Carnivine stole its spotlight. Carnivine not only replaced Cacnea as Seviper's partner, but it also adopted Cacnea's gag of hugging James when summoned. Whenever Cacnea and Carnivine appeared together, they hugged James simultaneously. While most of Cacnea's appearances in Sinnoh were alongside Carnivine, it appeared without its successor on several occasions. Despite falling in stature, Cacnea continued to give its best in James's schemes. Starting in its Saga debut in 2 Degrees of Separation, Cacnea worked hard to steal Pikachu and other Pokémon. However, as shown in A Staravia is Born, its efforts in Sinnoh were no more successful than in previous regions. Even with Carnivine and Seviper backing it up, Cacnea couldn't prevent flying types from escaping Team Rocket's trap. A key change in Cacnea's Sinnoh portrayal was that it used Sandstorm, like Seviper used Haze, to aid in Team Rocket's Getaways. Cacnea had few opportunities to fight in Sinnoh, as Carnivine, Seviper, and Dustox took more of the focus. Still, Cacnea held its own against powerful opponents like Pikachu, Piplup, Rock Sudowoodo, Ash's Turtwig and Chimchar, Gardenia's Turtwig, and Dawn's Pachirisu and Baneri. Of note, Cacnea did major damage to Sudowoodo in One Big Happiny Family, and overpowered Baneri in Oh Do You Know the Poffin Plan. In The Grass Type Is Always Greener, Cacnea's strength and cuteness caught the attention of Eterna gym leader Gardenia. Even after her Turtwig beat Cacnea, she still recognized its potential. Gardenia's obsession with Cacnea continued into a secret sphere of influence when she helped thwart one of Team Rocket's schemes. Gardenia and James weren't the only one who thought Cacnea special. In a stand-up sit-down, Jessie started to consider Cacnea as Seviper's partner for the Hearthome contest. Ultimately, when it came time for the Hearthome appeals round in Dawn's early night, she paired Cacnea with Mime Jr. Cacnea performed brilliantly. It began with Needle Arm, which Mime Jr. mimicked. After the two of them tickled Jessie, they finished up with Pin Missile and another mimic. Thanks to the fireworks their performance created, Jessie advanced to the contest battle round. Shortly after the contest concluded, Cacnea was forced to say goodbye to James, and once there were green fields. At episode's start, Gardenia interrupted Team Rocket's attempt to capture Pikachu, and asked James, Ash, and Dawn to help her organize an exhibition battle for school children. In the battle, James paired Cacnea with Gardenia's Turtwig, while Ash used Aipom and Dawn chose Pachirisu. Cacnea started off the battle strongly by tanking Swift, launching Pin Missile, weathering Spark, and overcoming Focus Punch with Needle Arm. Its Needle Arm impressed Gardenia, but she thought it would be better served by using Drain Punch. She explained that Cacnea could use the attack by twisting its arm inward. Following her guidance, Cacnea executed a flawless Drain Punch against Aipom. Unfortunately, it couldn't replicate the move against Pachirisu, leading it and Turtwig to lose the match. After the battle, Gardenia asked James to let her train Cacnea. Though he refused, the idea lingered as he knew she was the superior trainer. Because Cacnea wanted to learn Drain Punch, James trained it with the assistance of Jessie and Ash. Cacnea practiced the attack against Pikachu, Carnivine, Chimchar, and Aipom, but after repeated failure, James realized that Cacnea would be better off with Gardenia. He ultimately accepted that Cacnea needed her tutelage in order to reach its full potential and master Drain Punch. Saying goodbye was painful for both Cacnea and James, but James couldn't let himself hamper the Pokemon's development. From that moment on, Cacnea trained with Gardenia and fought in her gym battles. In the next episode, throwing a track switch, James struggled to adjust to life without Cacnea. He felt deep sadness over its absence, but eventually learned to accept the situation. That said, Cacnea never left his heart. In Barry's busting out all over, James was ecstatic to learn that Barry had fought Cacnea at the Eterna gym. When Barry mentioned that Cacnea had mastered Drain Punch and given his Empoleon major trouble, James boasted that he knew his old friend was destined for greatness. Thanks to Barry, James was able to rest easy, knowing that Cacnea was thriving and living its best life. This newfound prosperity likely explains why James never reclaimed Cacnea. While it's technically still his Pokémon, he loved it too much to deprive it of Gardenia's training. Even though Cacnea never rejoined James's team, it briefly appeared in the Journeys episode Rocket Revengers. It appeared when Jesse and James reminisced about their old Pokémon. The appearance proves that no matter how much time has passed, Cacnea will always remain one of James's most cherished friends. As that covers Cacnea's history to date, let's get to its battle record. Like the rest of its brethren in Team Rocket, Cacnea lost to too many Pokémon to count. It defeated Brock's Forretress by cheating, Jesse's Seviper with the help of Phanpy, and 2 of Team Aqua's Crawdont. Move-wise, Cacnea used Drain Punch, Needle Arm, Pin Missile, and Sandstorm. Cacnea wasn't just a cactus-themed fusion of Weezing and Victory Bell. Its bond with James was central to its character. Cacnea consistently added humor and charm to the trio's misadventures. While its battle record wasn't stellar, its emotional moments and exaggerated hugs made it top-notch comic relief. Cacnea's potential was hindered by a lack of wins, few contest appearances, and no evolution. Evolution into Cacturn in an arc involving Gardenia could have made it one of James's strongest Pokémon. I would have loved to see it evolve while beating Barry's Empoleon. Doing so might have solidified its place as a gym leader's ace. Despite the missed opportunity, Cacnea left a lasting legacy, much like the rest of Team Rocket's other Pokémon. On that note, class is adjourned. I'm Professor Silver. Until next time, catch you later.